It's happening. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paige and today I'm going to try and read the entire Miss Peregrine series in 24 hours. This is going to be like my Halloween episode of doing something stupid, so I do hope you enjoy. Do like, subscribe and let me know down below if you do enjoy this series or you think that you're going to enjoy this video. I know Miss Peregrine is a huge series on BookTube, but I've just never finished them. I read the first one and then I had to wait so long for the second one that I just kind of gave up. I have 1, 2 and book 4 in hard copy, and then books 3 and 5 I'm going to access via my library and quite possibly use the audiobooks of them. I have some stuff to do today. I do want to chill, maybe play some Animal Crossing, I don't know, we'll see. So I've got the audiobook version so I can multitask. I'm really excited to film this video. I've been looking forward to it all month, so I do hope you enjoy. It is currently 8:30 in the morning, pretty much a normal time for me to be awake and dressed. I'm gonna chill, watch some Modern Family for a bit, just prepare for the day, and then at 9 o'clock on the dot I'm gonna pick up the first book. Let's get into the next 24 hours of reading. It is 12 o'clock and I have finished Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This took me far longer to read than I wanted it to, especially considering it's the smallest book in the series. We're not off to a great start. This book, not as good as I remember it being, in all honesty, but I guess this is just a book to set up the rest of the series. I am expecting the pacing and the plot to pick up a lot. This book is just a lot of backstory. I just found it a little bit meh. I do particularly like how Ransom has portrayed the Peculiars and how easy it is to bring them into a modern setting. There's like a scene where Miss Peregrine is talking about how Peculiars would used to make their living of performing for people. And it just kind of evokes that image of the circus and stuff like that, so it's just so easy to believe that Peculiars are real. It is a very immersive experience reading these books, especially with the photographs, so it's definitely fun. Just actual plot wise I didn't enjoy it that much, but A, I have read this one before, so maybe I was bored because I read it before so it didn't feel that unique. B, this is a book to set up the rest of the series, so I'm definitely excited to keep going. I will say, I always had it in my head that this was a middle grade. For some reason I remembered them being 12, but they're not, they're 16. I don't know why in my head I thought they were way younger. I guess because the people on the covers are really young, so I just assumed. I do also find this whole Emma Jacobs situation weird. She dated his grandfather and now she's got something going on with him. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna get some lunch and we're gonna move on to Hollow City. I might go out for snacks after I've had some lunch, because you can't have lunch and then just not eat for the rest of the day. That would be rude. You have to have snacks immediately after eating a full meal. It's the only way to live. Guys, they have found an island of talking animal peculiars. This book is already doing better than the last one, okay? I just want a book about the animal peculiars. I don't care about Miss Peregrine's anymore now that I know there's animal ones that talk and can heal people with their tongues. I want to read about that. So I have finished Hollow City. I found this quite boring towards the end, but the beginning was really good, and I did particularly like exploring a modern historical setting, so like London during the 1940s. I thought that was very interesting, especially in a more fantasy setting. Very interesting. I have made a very big mistake though. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, only have books 1, 2 and 4 of the 5 because I saw that my library had the others in audiobook form as well as ebook, and I was very excited to listen to the audiobook, see how it was, go for a nice long walk listening to the audiobook. They've now been borrowed and I can't access them. All the books that I own in paperback form are available from my library, but the ones that I don't own have now been borrowed. I have the worst luck. However, it is only 3 p.m, so I have an hour and a half when I could run to town and get the hard copies of the books maybe. When I was looking for these books in previous weeks, none of the Waterstones in Exeter had book 5, but they did have book 3. So I might run out and get book 3, maybe see if they have book 5. Worst case scenario, iBooks does have them, but I would rather buy them
in hard copy form from Waterstones. A, because I get their student discount, so it's ever so slightly cheaper. I get points, so eventually I'll get £10 off a book. And 3, it's gonna bug me if half of the series is on my phone and half of it is on my shelves. I really hate that. I'd rather it just be one or the other. So if I have to, I will, but whilst I have the time, and since I was gonna go for a walk today anyway and I now can't do it whilst reading, I'm gonna run out and get the book, see if I can find them. Pray for me. And why does this always happen to me? Okay, so I got a copy of the book and I got myself a Diet Coke in reward for my faff. I couldn't find the 5th one. I'm starting to doubt whether there is a 5th book. I don't know, when I googled it there were only 4, but I could have sworn that on the library and on iBooks I saw a 5th. But we'll deal with that at like 1 in the morning when we get to that book. Waterstones' student deals are just not deals. I'm sorry, a 5% student discount. That took $8.99 book down to $8.53 or something stupid like that. And in Exeter, we don't have a choice but to go to Waterstones. Waterstones is the only bookstore within walking distance, and getting parking permits in Exeter is very difficult as a student, so a lot of people don't bring their cars. Therefore, you want books? You've got to go to Waterstones. And you're telling me that they can't do a bigger discount than 5%? I'm guessing because they know that they don't have any competition, but still, like, their point scheme is okay, you know, you get 10 points and you get £10 off, but it's very expensive to get 10 points. I just do it because I know I have to spend money there anyway, so it'll add up eventually, but I'm just very annoyed about it. I want more than like a 30p discount off a book. Waterstones, what are you doing? So I'm going to start Library of Souls and I'm going to have a big long drink of my Diet Coke. I'm going to cool down, chill out, whatever, and then later I've decided I'm just going to take the whole book on a walk with me. Doesn't need to be an audiobook. I'll just take the whole book and read down by the quay. So that's the plan. I will update you hopefully when I'm leaving and not because I have some other faff going on. Kind of loud here because there's running water, but I'm enjoying this so far. I think they're getting better throughout the series, especially as the lore is becoming more and more clear and then going into more and more. And you just meet so many interesting characters along the way, so I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm just walking along the quay and you can hear the water running in the background. That's that noise. So I'll catch up with you when I'm home. Okay, it is about 6:30 now, I think. I'm not quite halfway through Library of Souls. I'm taking this one quite slower than the other ones because I just kind of decided that I'd rather enjoy this experience rather than rush through it. So if I fall behind schedule or anything like that, I'll make it work. It's fine. I don't want to rush, I want to enjoy. I must say I'm getting a bit confused by the time loops. If anyone wants to help me out down below with explaining all these different time loops they're finding, and I feel like it's not made quite clear enough when they enter a new time loop, so I'm getting a bit confused with that. I also think that it was a staple of the first 2 books to be meeting a load of new characters and it worked, but it's getting quite tired and confusing now to in basically every single page be introduced to a new character, even if they don't stick around or whatever. It kind of sounds like I'm not enjoying this one by my feedback, but I am. It's fine. As I say every time I do a Doing Something Stupid video, this is not the way books are designed to be read, so it's far easier to spot issues like too many characters or things being repetitive and stuff like that when you are reading every book in a series consecutively in 24 hours. And if I wasn't reading it that way, then it probably wouldn't be an issue. So definitely still enjoying it, and I'm gonna cut it some slack. I'll probably be in a better mood after I eat anyway, so I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I think a break would be good for my brain, because previously in the day when I've been eating, I've been reading and eating at the same time, but I'm gonna take an actual break now, chill, and then come back to this with renewed energy and desire to get through it. It took me way longer than it should have, but I finished Library of Souls. It took me forever because, as you probably saw, I ended up watching The Parent Trap with someone in my flat whilst I was reading it, and I've never seen The Parent Trap before, so I was getting very distracted. Fantastic movie, by the way. I cannot believe it took me this long to watch it. This book was the best of the first three. We really started to get a more developed plot, more of a like overarching theme, a lot of different settings, a lot of cool settings. We see Jacob develop a really, really cool power, and a power where I didn't see this book going. However, the ending of this book, I kind of feel like this was supposed to be a trilogy. It all wrapped up so nicely, and I feel like it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then Ransom decided to write 2 more books, which I guess is fine. Depends if it's okay based on how good the other 2 books are, so I can let you know hopefully before 9 AM tomorrow. But yeah, it just kind of feels like it all wrapped up nicely and really reached an end point, and we had a very like nice ending involving Jacob and Emma, and then it just kind of felt like it didn't need to carry on from there, but it has done. Also, still kind of finding the Jacob and Emma thing weird. However, the 4th book, from what I've read of it so far, is kind of making fun of itself for that. So Ransom does know that it's a little bit weird, at least. The more you read, the easier it is to forget that Emma and Jacob's grandfather had a thing. You know, you can kind of put it out of your mind. I'm gonna do some very hardcore reading to try and catch up now with A Map of Days, and I'll let you know when significant progress is made. This was by far the best one yet. I no longer feel hesitant about the fact that I think this series was supposed to be a trilogy, because this one was so good. I think I particularly liked this one because it didn't have a lot of time jumping. The time jumping in the last couple of books has been really confusing and not very well signposted, and that didn't happen with this book. So yay, I actually understood everything I was reading and could follow along very, very clearly. So I really, really enjoyed this one. The thing I'm really enjoying about this series is how visual an experience it is. You've got the photographs, you've got letters, you've got postcards, you've got everything. This book had barely any. Most of the pages are just green, where I feel like there should be a photo. So for all the previous books, for chapter starts, there's been photos, but they're all just plain in this book. There's a couple of photos, but not to the same extent the previous books have been. So that was a downside. I really, really love this one. I felt like everything really picked up. I feel like we got some of the answers that we'd really been waiting for in previous series as well. So nothing really that bad to say about this other than the lack of photos. I don't really know what was going on. Now, it is almost midnight and I can start the audiobook for the last book in the series, The Conference of Birds. Slightly worried because even on ×2 speed, which is the fastest iBooks goes, this audiobook is over 4 hours long. I'm pretty sure this is the biggest book in the series, and this only took me 2 hours to read, 2.5 hours. Over 4 hours is a long time. I don't know if I have 4 hours of just listening in me, but I don't have the book, so I don't have a choice. So we'll see how it goes. But like 4 hours of listening to an audiobook during the day is fine. 4 hours of listening to an audiobook at midnight? Also, like I said, this series is a very visual experience, and so listening to the audiobook I think is going to be interesting, and I'm definitely interested to see if it's the photos that make this series or if it actually is the writing. Hopefully I will update you when I'm close to finishing the audiobook or finished it, but more than likely I will fall asleep because I think just lying in bed listening to an audiobook will send me to sleep. Yet another hitch in the plan. My phone is dying. My phone is on like almost 6% right now, and I still have an hour and 45 minutes left. I'm thinking I might just sleep and wake up really, really early. Because if I sleep now and wake up at like 6, it will still be within the 24 hours. Is that cheating? It's a bit cheating, but I'm still technically reading all the books in 24 hours. I'm just sleeping in between. I'm not someone who can stay up late. Like, I'm very consistently in bed at 11 o'clock every single night because I know that I can't do stuff like this. God, I'm like an old woman, I swear.
I'm a 90-year-old in a 20-year-old's body. I will see you later this morning. So I completely passed out last night, and this morning I did have to Google the plot of the last book because I think I was dozing off through it and I don't quite remember the middle bit. I have the beginning and the end, middle bit gone. I didn't like the last one. The Conference of the Birds I rated 2-star. The rest of the series I rated 3-star except for A Map of Days, which I rated 4-star. There's clearly going to be another book because this book ended on a cliffhanger. I'm kind of glad to be caught up. I don't know if I will be finishing this series though. I think it should have been a trilogy. And even though The Map of Days was my favourite book, The Library of Souls, it wrapped up really nicely. The plot ended, it should have just finished there. It was kind of like The Mortal Instruments, where like you get to City of Glass, the first plot ends, and then you start a new plot for the last 3 books. That's kind of what happened here. I'm not sure I'm really into the second plot. I do like that there's much less time travel, much easier to keep track of. It's quite apocalyptic-y, and I'm not sure I like that, you know, like a prophecy's been brought in and there's this girl and this girl is the person for the prophecy and they need to save her or whatever. It's just very YA. And the thing that was so great about the Miss Peregrine series was that it was completely unique. And I feel like now just a bit tropey and no longer a very unique plot. I also think some things in the last couple books were not executed particularly well. But the ideas were there, the ideas were okay. The voices that are put on in the audiobook really do help bring the characters to life, and that was helpful in a different way than the photos do in the paperback books. The Library of Souls follows the same theme as A Map of Days. There's not nearly as many photos. I feel like the series is just losing the thing that originally made it so good. Another shame is that when I first read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the first book, I rated that 5-star on Goodreads, and I went to remark it as read so it could be added to my Goodreads goal, and I ended up changing it from a 5-star to a 3-star. And I understand age could accommodate for that, but it was quite disappointing to have to do that. I really did think that Miss Peregrine was one of my favourite books that I'd ever read, and rereading it was just quite disappointing. I didn't get that from it. I didn't enjoy the series as much as I thought that I would, unfortunately. Thank you guys very much for watching this long. If you're still here, do like, subscribe, and let me know down below if you'd like to see any other series in this Doing Something Stupid challenge series I have on my channel. Do let me know what you think of the Miss Peregrine series, whether you like the fact that the plots change so much, or the points that I've raised in this video basically. Let me know what you think of them. I hope that you enjoy these longer style videos, these more vlog style videos. So yeah, do subscribe and check out some of my other videos if you want to. It would really mean a lot, and I will see you next week for my next video. Bye guys.